Hey guys, this is going to be a quick review of grade 6, unit 3, operations with positive fractions and decimals. We're going to start with TEKS covered in this unit. Our essential readiness standard for unit 3 is 6.3e, multiplying and dividing positive rational numbers. Then we have 3 supporting standards, 6.2e, 6.3a, and 6.3b. Unpacking these standards. So first, in the slide deck, you have access to the TRS guide into the TEKS clarification document. So here's a simple unpacking of 6.3e, an essential readiness standard. Make sure you provide ample opportunities in context to determine a need to multiply or divide to help students' computation and procedural fluency. Estimation is important to determine reasonableness of solutions. And problems in context will foster understanding of when to multiply or divide. So the hint there is opportunities in context. So that would be word problems. So this is from the TRS Enhanced TEKS Clarification. Kind of gives you some more information on what 6.3e is and how it will be assessed. This will be filled in once the 2024 questions from the 6th grade STAR test are released. But we do have 2023 and 2022 for 6.3e, an essential readiness standard. If you look down in the notes for these slides, you're going to see the most common error that gave the kids the distractor. So if we look at this one, 59% chose the correct answer. 23% in the state chose B. They most likely guessed since the rest of the answers were pretty similar. On this one, 37% of the students chose A. That was the correct answer. However, 32% chose B. And the way they got B is they multiplied rather than divided the values. Okay. Now we have our supporting standard, 6.2e, extended representations for division. And then we have the 2024 question, which is coming. And it was last tested in 2022 as a multiple choice with 85% of students getting it correct. 6.3a is the next supporting standard, dividing by a rational number and multiplying by its reciprocal, resulting in an equivalent value. We'll get to 2024 if it was tested. It wasn't tested 2023, but it was tested in 2022 with 44% getting this question correct. And the last supporting standard of Unit 3, 6.3b, determine whether a quantity is increased or decreased when multiplied by a fraction greater than or less than 1. This is usually tested every year, so we're waiting on the 2024 released question. It was tested as a STAR 2.0 question, a match table grid in 2023. Only 32% got full credit on this question. So this may be an example of something you'd want to do in class, maybe as a warm-up or an exit ticket. It was tested in 2022 as well, but as a multiple choice. We do have some data. If you look at the supporting standards plus the essential readiness standard, we have our state STAR in 2022. 68% of students got these questions correct. Then in 2022 on our District Q1 sum, only 45% of students got these questions correct. So there was a very large growth in this from 2022, our district Q1, all the way to our state STAR. In 2023, we stayed about the same. The district Q1 sum, 45%, and by the state, 45%. So we probably need to see why students fell from 68% to 45% in 1 year. The 2024 stats will be coming as soon as those are released. Vocabulary. So this is the vocabulary students need to know to be successful in this unit. We have some common misconceptions, things that students will miss and get incorrect or maybe flaws in their understanding. So this is a good slide to read through. Vertical alignment. A lot of 6.63 starts in 4th grade. It is continued in 5th grade, and then it is extended into 7th grade. So here are the standards, and you can see where students are and what they've already been exposed to. Pacing for Unit 3, it's 11 days. The first day of school is going to be relationship building, so that's not part of Unit 3. And then day 2 is just going to be classifying rational numbers, also not part of Unit 3, but something that needs to be covered quickly. Then we have the rest of the pacing for Unit 3 in the 11 days with an assessment at the end. Now, within this unit, there will be map testing, and that will be 2 days. So those 2 days are not part of the 11 days for Unit 3. Instructional strategies for Unit 3. On the calendar as warm-ups, we've got building thinking classrooms. And there's an example if you want to click on this example. It also can be used as scaffolded practice problems, and there's an example for that here too, starting with simple multiplication and division problems and maybe progressing into some more complicated multiplication and division problems. We do have some examples of lead forward strategies, a 9-square problem, where students have to come up with their own questions. They have to figure out what the question is asking, what mathematical operations are involved in the question. And also a justified list where we give the students a problem and they have to determine whether each step is true or false and give a justification whether it's true or whether it is false. There's a STAR 2.0 match table grid. Remember, that was part of 6.3b. It was tested as a match table grid in 2023. And then we have some Desmos curriculum here as well. And I've given you some links that come from your pacing calendar. Language supports for your students that are struggling with language. You have a link to the TEA math vocabulary list. And then you've got some important question stems that come out of this unit, such as which expression is equivalent to, determine the value, what is the total, and order the rational numbers. So that's going to be coming up as we move through this unit. Now we have a new resource this year, and that's going to be in Carnegie. We have a new grant, and every student in middle school now has access to the Carnegie materials. So within this unit, we've added some of these Carnegie slide decks. I really like these slide decks because they are very specific to the standard. They come up with a warm-up, the learning goals and key terms, an essential question for the unit, and then they have some type of an activity. So for this activity, you would want to click this link here. See if I can find it. There it is. Click the link and you'll get the card sort to print out that you can cut for your students. Then we've got some questions. This is done in a I do, we do, you do slow release. So lots of practice questions here. If you download or if you make a copy of this presentation, you can edit it. So if there's things that you don't like, you can always take those things out. We've covered classifying numbers on day 2, so that's in here as well. A little spiraling of 6.2a. Some more slow release questions. Sorry, somebody just walked in the middle of my video. And we go down to our exit ticket. So all of your lesson is incorporated in this slide deck, from the warm-up to an activity, to a slow release practice, to an exit ticket. So that's what we have for all of these Carnegie slide decks. We also have some intervention. This would be intervention on 6.3e. These are located on your calendar, usually on a day with a supporting standard. So if your students are really struggling with the essential readiness standard, you can bypass the supporting standard that day and go into the intervention unit so that they get more work on the readiness standard. We also have some acceleration options. This goes into the 7th grade standards, and for this would be 7.3b. So on a day of a supporting standard, if your students are doing really well with what the essential readiness standard, and you can see that they're getting the supporting standards, you could push them into this acceleration and work on some 7th grade content. So that's Unit 3 in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please reach out to any of us. We can all help you. Thank you, and I hope this helps you organize your Unit 3. Thanks, guys.